Hey guys, Rob Mitchell here. Thanks for joining me for number 3 video in the series from market mapping here, how to predict the range of the session or any interval. There's a huge number of ways that you can make range predictions. I'm going to show you the most basic ones. First off, past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. There's a risk of loss trading futures. Don't use the grocery money for trading. Make a range prediction, okay? So market mapping is about knowing what's normal or not so you can tell what kind of trading environment you're in. One of the ways that I do that, and I love doing this every single morning as part of my opening call, is I grab my market map. This is one for Friday because I happen to have a chart for that there. And what I do is I come to the Globex session for the period ending in -1, which is the one right before the day session begins. Okay. And what I do is I see that 117 right there. Yeah. I see that 117. Well, what I do with that on the chart is let me go over to that guy. I go over to the overnight range on the chart, and it shows me 123. This is on the Smart Periods indicator. Yeah, I have that right on my chart. This is 123, and I'm actually at 117. Okay, so it's pretty close. Yeah, but then what I do is I grab that number. So if that number is a little bit bigger, if it's bigger, then what I do is I just go over here to K period, which is the end of the day, and or whatever interval I want. Yeah, I could do it for the next 4 periods. Yeah, I could go out and say, well, what's the range that I expect by D period? Yeah, or what's the range I expect by the end of the day? Usually I do it for the end of the day. On this particular day, 123, this number was 117, and my divisor is 56. Now, if that number is bigger, I'm just going to use that number right there. Okay, if that number is bigger than that number right there, then I'm just going to use that number right there. But if that number is smaller, I want to adjust it down. This is called relative range prediction. If the ranges are smaller than I expect, then I want to downsize them a little bit, and that is the multiplier that I use. So I'll just pull up a little calculator here. And let's say that that number right there when I got up was $1. Yeah, $1. So I'd put the $1 in there. Yeah, 100. And I would say divide, use your divide key by 0.56. And that tells me that I expect a range of 178 ticks for this market. Yeah. So by the end of the day, it's over in here. Yeah, over in here. Usually I'll consider that by K period because it doesn't really do much after that. It's only like 1 tick past that point in time. Yeah. So this is another thing that tells me about the opportunity here is that you don't generally get any expansion in the range after about K period in this particular market, just by glancing at that. Now, I could also do a range prediction for the European session. That European number was also happened to be 123, but let's say that one had come in at, 90 or something. Yeah, 90 ticks divided by, what's my divisor there? 0.51, 0.51. And that would give me a prediction of 176 for this row right here, 176 by the end of the day. So I'm downsizing that a little bit for both cases. And I'm making that now at this point, I've made the prediction for Globex and I've made the prediction for the European range. Okay. Now I can happen to do that using that divisor for any point in the day as it goes. So as the day starts picking up, I start having some of these sessions for the day, I can actually do this prediction in 3 different dimensions. And if those things aren't matching up to some degree with what I would expect, then that's giving me a warning sign. In the first video in the series, we talked about the 3 different ways if a map's not making, that you can interpret that. Yeah. And so super important and super cool. And you can make a prediction at any point in time. So like before I go on break in the trading room each day, I'll take a peek at that as I go on break at about 8 o'clock. I'll take a peek at that range right there. I'll do the division and I'll say, well, we're looking at about this by the end of the day. And these things come in remarkably well. These maps are looking at the data and how the market distributes it over intervals of time. Yeah. And so always take into account those various factors. Yeah. So let's take a look at the rest of what we have here. Okay. Always test before you trade and trade the way you test. There's no substitute for having experience doing this. I do this every single day, so I'm super excited to show you about it. Yeah, I'm super excited to show it to you because I do it every single day in multiple dimensions. And so I have a whole database in my mind of doing this. And so you want to have a little bit of experience with it before you go with it, and make sure that you understand the way you're doing it. If not, always reach out and ask questions. Yeah, you can subscribe to these market maps, IndicatorSmart.com/market mapping, or you can find it on the menus there. And also you can learn, I teach market mapping every day in the trading room, advanced market mapping techniques and how to read the market and interpret it in terms of mapping. Yeah, the last 20+ years of my trading career has been wrapped around mapping. And Steve also does some mapping in the stock index trading room as well. So take advantage of those resources. And also you can take advantage of the free maps that we put out for you on Monday. Yeah, on Monday. Also at this link here, IndicatorSmart.com/market mapping. Thanks for joining me for this little mini webinar on how to do what? Predict ranges. Yeah, how to predict ranges. And we'll have a more in the video series here going forward on how to predict edges and other cool things that you can do with these maps. Yeah. Okay, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you on the next one.